Hey everyone, how's it going? What is happening? How's everyone's week been? Hey everyone, how's it going? I've had quite a busy week this week. I was in meetings on Wednesday. Some exciting things coming up. Let me know how your trading day's been. Hopefully you've not been buying too much today. I'm gonna quickly change this. Hey dude, how's it going? How's it going, my friend? Lovely of you to join us. DJ in the house. Yeah, so I've thinking the last couple of days, been feeling a little bit burnt out to be honest. I've traded now for pretty much every day for the last number of months. Um, don't get me wrong, been really good the last couple of months considering it's been summer. I've put up some good results. Bonds have been nice. It has been a little bit slow, but I mean, to be honest, you can imagine if you're looking at the treasuries, right, and it's in a 20 tick range, it is quite, you know, it's not exactly, not that I need action to, far from it, but it just gets a bit repetitive. So, I've still been trading. I had a positive week this week, but just barely. But yeah, I thought I would come on and see how everyone's doing. We'll take the weekend to recharge, and then we'll continue back on the normal schedule is the plan of attack. So actually, just to make things even more slightly annoying, I give the chart books out to some people, and I don't know how I managed this, but for some reason I opened my latest chart book and it defaulted to my treasury chart book. So I had to don't know that I had to rebuild it, but I had to take ones that I was giving out to people and then change it, which is quite funny. So, Jengi, how's it going? Trader boy, good, good. That's what I like to hear, dude. Alex, how's it going, dude? So you've been busy? Yeah, I was out. I actually was in meetings on Wednesday, and I ended up taking some positions. I actually had a red day on Wednesday. Um, really for no real reason, to be honest. I shouldn't have just traded, and I was kind of a bit cheesed off with that because um, but yeah, it was a really manageable day, so it's not the end of the world or anything, but it's just annoying. It's not really a need. But we've had quite a strange sentiment this week, to be honest. Also, the fact that the bond market is absolutely dumped as well. Interesting. It'll be interesting to see what the COT report is that comes out at close of play, because last week, which I found quite strange, large firms or speculators um, were net short last week. So it makes sense now as to why we're essentially dropping, and commercial is just banks that essentially trade notes and treasuries. But the yield was absolutely pumping, and I think it's mainly on the back of the fact that Biden is basically realizing that coming to the realization that he can't string a sentence together. So he's maybe not going to run, or even realize he's not going to win. So Trump is in general tends to pump stocks and causes higher inflation. It's quite strange though, because typically higher inflation, stocks don't like that. But I think we're in a real outlier at the moment with indices, just because the Mag 7 has been going bananas. Oh, you traded the 10-year today, did you? Very nice. Very nice. Yes, I actually had a great trade. I think it was about an hour before open. So normally the volume picks up about what time would that be? US time. So bond market opens at 8:30. And it normally picks up from 7. So from 7 is basically when I start, because the volume can continue. And typically treasuries a lot of the time, unless there's data coming out, because a lot of data comes out at that time. But typically if the market is moving in that direction and it goes to open in that direction, it'll a lot of the time just continue. Like, it doesn't happen like ES, where ES can be straight line up and then as soon as it turns to open it can just straight up dump. It doesn't do that as violently. So I had a trade today and I took 7 ticks on the trade, which is a home run for me on treasuries. So after that trade, I was like, well, maybe see if we can get a pullback a little bit more. And as usual, I didn't. It actually went for like 12, and I only took 7. But c'est la vie. C'est la vie. Shit the bed at last minute. We basically saw the absorption right at the lows, back ticked. Then they lifted the offer, and I was just like, nah, I'm just gonna take it. I don't want to see this come back. And then literally, as soon as that happened, then the bid was pulled and it went down 3 ticks. So I was like, yeah, but happens. Happens. Okay, so let's see if we defend this a little bit. There's a little low volume node, a little pocket here. See if we can defend. But interestingly, that where delta's at today, we're actually flat. And we're actually approaching nearly highs in delta for the session, so it just means the bid has been extremely weak today. Nice IB, dudes. No problem. No problem, man. Yeah, if you want to shoot me a message, and you can get the if you want the treasury ones or whatever. But you need to make sure and have full L2 data for the Chicago Board of Trade and CME or whatever you want. And it is a little bit more complicated when you're using Rhythmic. It's just not as reliable as Denali. Okay, so the market should be protecting here to some degree at least. Let's see. We're going to bang through it, see how that reacts at this 50, and then see if we can continue down. Let me know what your thoughts are on me removing the inside prints for these markets. I wanted to, for the stream deck, because we're not really checking the inside prints. It's kind of triggering me that that price thing is so large. Oh wow, I wasn't looking. Look at that. So it respected the, what would we call that, an imbalance here. It's always the first one that they respect, typically. Yo, Eunice, how's it going? Well, Alex, the thing is, dude, if that's a home run. Like, that's get the pom poms out, do a dance type trade. Yesterday was okay. I traded a lot of 30-year yesterday. The only thing as well is the 30 I don't get to trade as much size because of the tick value, but it's definitely a really good trade when you can. And it's just not as fluid. Like you notice yourself, mate, that if you get like one or two ticks offside in the tens, you normally get to scratch. Like my absolute stop is my hard stop is 5, but I'm really looking to try and cover at like 4, 3, and if it goes to 2, I'll then it doesn't and it goes back to break even. Depending on what the flow is, I'll try and cover it. Just depends. Just grinding away, Eunice, buddy boy. No problem, dude. So what all have you guys been trading this week? You just been trading indices? Uh, yeah, super bearish week. I mean, this had to happen, right? I've been not that I'm a perma bull or anything, perma bear, but I kind of should be with the bear logo. But I've been calling something like this for a while. It just you cannot have 40% of the S&P not put up positive gains this year and continually smash highs. It doesn't make any sense. If you remove the Mag 7, it's a shit year. So as soon as those 7 stocks bleed, this happens. And that can happen either one of two ways. It can be actual selling pressure that comes in, political shit that you see that's happening, or just general profit taking. But I suppose that people that do say things like, "Oh well, this is healthy," it's a healthy pullback. But if we actually bring up the market profile here, look where we are going to be pulling back to. We're going to be pulling back to the massive area here. Let me just quickly sort this. So it looks like this is what a day that was. So continually dumping, but this is pretty much going to be the target if we even get here today. If we break through this level and get down here, ever since rollover, this is pretty much the rollover low as far as I'm aware. So it'll be interesting, but I suspect if we can hit down into here where this massive consolidation area was, we'll most likely just consolidate and then we'll potentially just reverse back up, would be the plan. The most unlikely option now is just to smash through this level and sort of work its way down here. Get rid of some of my old rectangles. But yeah, hopefully you guys have not been trying to buy this, and this is the thing, and I keep on saying this, but if you don't have your rules in place for fading, because we love to fade here, right? And if you don't have that in place, geez, we literally called the tick there, jeez. If you don't have your rules in place for it, you're gonna be in pain. So, units for me, I have traded quite a number of trades this week. End of the week positive, which is always nice. Not on P&L highs or anything. Still, positive week's a positive week. Nice that we continued the sentiment. Treasuries in the last couple of hours sold off aggressively last night. For the last probably hour and a half of the session, and then we just continued the sentiment today. So you guys any positions at the moment? So first area to get down to here is like 36s. And do you know also what's quite interesting, which I think actually is very interesting? The algo clamp is gone. Do you see that? How nice. It disappeared. Oh, you're short oil. Okay, how's that going? There was oil news out, wasn't there? There were some data points that were out. Did anyone check what the Bostic speech was? What was Did he see? Did he see anything noteworthy? Considering they go into hibernation now until till the July meeting, which is quite good because they just talk shit all the time and it affects trades. Breaking at the moment. So you'll see buyers basically need to reclaim 53 and a quarter. Until then, there's going to be some more pressure. We're going to actually clear. We won't bother. I was going to say we'll clear delta, but you can clearly see here that there's loads of buying going on at 50 and 3/4. And let me know your feedback on what you think the ladders are like here. We're using them for correlations, but let me know what your thoughts are on the inside prints been removed for NQ. So this is NQ, this is the Russell, and this is the Dow. And of course we have this set up for correlations, right? Right, let's see if we have some profit taking here, or are we going to blast through it? Looks like we're going to try and fill out 55 and 3/4 now. Yeah, seems to be really respecting these imbalances. Wow, NQ just really took that out there. Did you guys see that? Look at the amount of size that just came in there. And it was just really absorbed. There was like 2,000 contracts absorbed in these prices. We're now going to dump. Some huge buying just come in there. Did you guys catch that? If anyone's got a time and sales up, be interesting to check that. Let's see if that was mini orders or one huge size. But then to be honest, let me get the trusty pen out. Pen. I reckon if they do not, buyers need to crack here and try and see what this liquidity is like at 55 and 3/4 here. What colour will we go for today? We'll go for blue. So we have this level up here that's not moving, so it doesn't look to be the liquidity clamp as usual. So we want to see if the market's going to fill out this order up here. But we did note that the huge size that came in up here, and it was instantly absorbed here. So buyers, if they can crack through here, we want to see how it reacts at this price. And we essentially have been one time framing now for the last hour and a half. We kind of tried to break that at F period here. You can see where we broke the level. Okay, so let's see if they're going to fully take this out. So watch this level here. So they should be throwing some size in so they can take this out. Yeah, so they completely take it out. Now people that were buying there have now just got out of their positions. So let's see how they behave. There is a lot of buying coming in though here with Delta. But if this was to be short, we're now approaching some large levels that sellers have got involved with before. Plus, it is this area, okay, and we have some large size that's just been filled, which most likely that is these guys that were buying down here have got out of their position. So the plan of attack is if we reclaim this imbalance area, we can then potentially work our way back down here. So let's see. That's my thought process. Strange, no problem. So NQ is this size here. Let's see if we're going to take it. I can't tell if we're going to take it or not. Of course, I think that might have been pulled. That's the only thing about not having the inside prints. I mean, the market could, for all intents and purposes, I think that this level down here is pretty much going to be somewhat of the low, to be honest. I just can't see us breaking this level without a struggle. It is the highest volume node and there's so much value that's built up in there. Well, DJ, I've just noticed that you became a member, dude. Thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. Now, is there anyone that on the streams, if you're here regularly and participating, is there anyone that would like to be a mod for the stream? Or is anyone that's getting experience with that? But thank you, DJ. Much appreciate that, dude. Okay, so looks like that is playing out. So let's see. We need to try and hold this level here. We're now just essentially filling it out, to be honest. We need NQ to work its way down. If NQ can go down to 96s here, yeah, no problem. To be honest with you, I'll need to look into that and see. The main thing is mainly just to do polls and small things. It's not exactly a huge upkeep. But to be fair, we don't really. That's actually one thing I've got to say. The community in here is fantastic. You know, we don't have a lot of plebs that come in and cause havoc and stuff. So it's a good community, which is great. Look at the amount of buying it's come in here as well, and we're just not cracking. So tons of absorption at this level. This was a low volume node, which we're now filling out, but sellers are holding. Probably seen the guts of 3,000-4,000 contracts absorbed round about these prices. I mean, make sure I mean, I'm flattered and all, but people are impersonating me. So, and they're doing a pretty good job at it as well. I think they've got nitro and stuff. So uh, make sure that they've got, I've got a couple of key things in there. I've got the pronouns as stating at the DOM. I've got or DOM trading, and I've got um, like the activity is stating at the DOM. So make sure just in case, as I don't remember if I added you to it or not. I can't remember. But just that's another thing. I'll need to put this out in the announcements tab. The last thing, the last thing I want is for anyone to get scammed. But let's be serious, right? I'm not trading anyone's money. I'm not going to message you and say send money to my address or whatever. Unless I message you first or I don't even know how you work that out. I suppose there's just an element of common sense, right? Yeah, how crazy is that though that they're even buying a Nitro subscription to scam people? Jeez, oh. So that means there's a mole. Can you let me know? If you go into Discord, I've commented, right? So make sure that's the right profile. But if you can let me know the profile, because clearly there's a mole in the Discord. Because what I don't want to have to do at some point is if it comes really bad, I'm gonna have to like lock it up some way or verify or something. I don't know. We're not at the stage where we want to open to the public, but then the trouble is when it's open to the public, it has, you know. Oh, that's a good idea, TP. That's a good idea. But yeah, we need to think if it gets really bad, we need to put some action in place and monitor it. But obviously, it goes without saying, I'm not going to message you um, and ask you to send me money and stuff. Okay, so now we have absolutely blitzed through here. Let's see. Last ditch attempt now. This level here. This is the last ditch attempt for sellers. If we break and close above here, we're now back in value, and then we're just going to flop around till most likely the high volume comes in. So let's see if sellers are going to continually absorb, but they need to start throwing some size in themselves. They're not doing that at the moment, they're just absorbing. But I'll need to check TP if that's some of the settings I can change, but if you make a note of the profile and post it in the Discord so we can monitor it and try and ban them. Because obviously if someone comes in and asks a question specifically to me, they're probably going to jump on that, right? Pretty sure everyone as a kid has drawn this, Bart Simpson doodle in their time. Ah, okay, it's an individual setting you need to change, right? I call this the Bart reversal pattern. See this? When it touches his second spike in the hairline, you know, it hit it by a literal tick here. When that happens, you basically go all in, and it goes up. And then normally there's absorption at the left eyeball. So typically, what you do is if you draw a line right through the middle of the eyeball, you then need to see the absorption and then wait for it to close back a low below. Okay, but you can pretty much just always go absolute long when it hits the second spike in his hairline. Verified, fantastic strategy. Yeah, no, exactly, dude. I mean, I'm obviously goes without saying I'm joking here, right? But if we don't hold this level, we're now retesting the session value area. So if we do continue to crack above here with all this delta, sellers need to start showing some intent for us to continue down. If we don't do that, then we're going to be struggling. Well, not struggling, it's just going to be boring, is all. We want to see some blood and pain, you know. So, because if buyers basically reclaim this value area, we've got, of course, this lower volume node in here with a double distribution. But if we do reclaim this and fill it out, we're just going to faff around here until the volume comes in. You know, we want to see some action where it sells off or something, you know. Yeah, there's basically been tons of buying, but look, we're now approaching, if you guys watched the Delta video, we've now cracked fresh highs on the session with Delta, so buyers are aggressively buying at the moment, whereas we're not really doing anything. So if they essentially get tired, you know, and exhaustion happens, which we want to see if they do go up and fill out this area where there's some size sitting, we want to see what happens. But both ways right now, I think the fact that there's so much absorption going on, if sellers start showing some intent and the bid gets pulled, we're going to work its way down. But also note that NQ needs to work its way down as well, right? As we cover that a lot. Exactly, Wog. That's exactly it. It's absorption. But when you see this, either buyers just continually get aggressive, you know. So let me see. Buyers essentially just continue this momentum up the way, and there's only so much absorption that can happen, right? But if buyers do not continue that, but then we see sellers actually start to step in, and then if the bid gets pulled, this can go down very fast. But watch for NQ doing it at the same time. You know, NQ needs to essentially work its way down here, which will also cause this to go down. And then we need to reclaim this imbalance area here. If we reclaim this, then we're back on for some movement back down to the lows. But we'll see. Hopefully it's not going to be the standard where we faff around and consolidate until the volume comes in the next couple of hours. Also, if you guys could like the stream for me, anyone that's not pressed the likey button, I'm assuming you're all subscribed. We watch NQ here, and with nice we're seeing the Russell. It is at POC, so we want to see the Russell essentially break down as well, as it does help the cause when everything is moving in tandem. Okay, NQ's going. So recenter, can't recenter while this is ticked. That's a slightly annoying. Still can't. So one bad thing about this pen. Okay, so note this level. We want to see this break below here and close. The bid has just been pulled right now. We're seeing no real selling coming in. But if you have it both ways, if the bid continues to get pulled, plus you have sellers hitting aggressively, this is when we start to see the movement. So what's interesting here is we have failed to reclaim the value area. But you need to see sellers actually stepping in. They're not doing so at the moment. And look at the amount of size that's here as well, which in essence I think this is going to be some profit taking from all this buying. But we shall see how it plays out. And as we discussed earlier, would be nice to see this area down here, which is the monthly point of control, tested out. Maybe not in this session because it has been quite aggressively dumping. Russell is still floating around the point of control area. Let me know if you guys are in any positions, any open trades. Until NQ, if NQ continually lifts the offer here the way it's doing, we are not going to be going down. But note, we're probably going to fill out this liquidity here and size. But then the other thing, just keep an eye on delta, right? As we've discussed, that there is tons of absorption happening on the offer, right? It's clear as day. Okay. Also in this price here, there's 2,000 contracts here have hit into the bid at this price at 60s. So what we would like to see for any form of selling is for sellers to actually start coming in here. Joe, you in any trades? Okay, we want to see NQ try and work its way down this way. Shorts, oil, significant positive delta, price down. Suppose some has to unload the shorts being before closing. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, if buyers can clear out this area and sort of retest here, we're now just going to range around until the next basically volume spikes come into the market, which is kind of the boring option. I wanted us to continually smash lows and have some frantic selling, but it doesn't look like it's going to be on the cards right now, at least. But note these orders, still so much absorption again at these levels. We've seen a total of, gee, that's a lot. It's like 7,000. Yeah, roughly 7,000 contracts from 50s to, we'll just call it 60s. So considering it's fresh highs, the offer is extremely strong today. Once you see them coming in with some intent and the bid getting pulled and we have some correlations working in our favor, it should be dropping. But you need to see sellers need to turn on the aggressive tap. They're not you can't push the market down with limit orders. You can only stop it. NQ looks like heavy breakup soon. Yeah, I mean we'll see. They're extremely correlated, right? But I'd imagine NQ will be somewhat the same. It's just harder to read the order flow. Martin, I think Apex is teaching you a bad habit. You went short 81s, bad to go out because of the stupid consistency rule. So Apex is teaching you how to let your profits run. Exactly. I mean Apex. I don't have any affiliation to any prop firms, so I don't really plan on doing it either. Apex is a joke of a company. Let's just be real. It's so far away from the live markets that it's not even funny. A trailing drawdown. So if you go plus 200 on a trade and you go back to break even, you actually lose 200 in that trade. It's crazy. Trader 19797 was the expected move. So yeah, if sellers do not start showing intent, they're essentially gonna struggle soon. But it starts to get a little bit more pressure put on them as soon as 60 breaks on ES, because they're not showing any form of intent at the moment. It's just basically absorbing orders. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great to see absorption. Helps the cause for a fade, for a short, or a continuation to the downside even. But you need to see two things. You need to see the absorption, but then you need to see some aggression come in with hitting into the bid, and they're not doing that at the moment. I suppose you could get a pretty cheap trade here. I mean, if the market breaks probably above maybe 62s in ES, and the trade is really no longer valid, because then we're going to go back up to the sort of 64s, NQ's going to the downside here. So Joe, do you want to continue on about Apex? So the price is pulling back ever so slightly here, but no, it's just the bid been pulled. So these firms are definitely working these levels here right now. But as soon as sellers start aggressively hitting in here, this is going to go. But note that. How is the stream quality as well? Can you guys see everything? Good quality? How's the quality of the DOMs as well? Can you see all the prints and all the numbers? I think you guys are probably something like 10 seconds behind or so, but which is pretty good for YouTube standards. It's fine, nice. But yeah, Martin, I would say that you're spot on, dude, with your setup. It is teaching you bad habits, and every single rule that they've got in place is to it's not to promote you being a good trader at all, because you're a winning trader is a liability on their books. Very simply. I don't see any record of them putting live, whereas the other firms, if you do significantly well or even remotely well, they put you to live basically so that you no longer become a liability on their books. That's just how it works. Yeah, exactly, Declan. So this good question. I hope you're well, dude. So um, now the bracket order is gone, right? So MBO is now back in play. Uh, when that was there for the last 3 weeks, I think it went yesterday afternoon or this morning, but gone. And the MBO data then actually becomes, in my opinion, important because then you're actually getting to see where size is. And typically, anyone that can lay 50 lots on the book for a while has got some size behind them, right? So it just gives you an insight into how the market's reacting at those levels. And also the fact at 60s there's been negative 2.6k delta at this price. But as we've discussed as well, there's so much absorption happening right now, but now everything is lifting into the offer, okay, and sellers have not shown any intent. So if we do crack here and go back above 62s, we're now just in a balance. We're now, the further this goes up, the less likely we are to challenge these lows until the volume spike comes in the next hour or so. Nice, JP. I'm glad the quality's good, dude. Martin, question about the bonds, catch up trades. At open, I noticed the 30 and the ultra pushing lower, while the 10 and 5 hang out in the middle, and the 10 and 5 start pushing lower. Is it normal the other way around? No, dude. So it just depends. There's not really. So it's not like NQ, where NQ will lead ES, where if you see a pullback like now in NQ, ES goes back a few ticks. It's not like that. Basically, in the treasury market, you have spreads at play. So what they'll maybe do is they'll be selling. It's of course the yield as well, but ignore yield for a second. So they'll be selling into the 30s and the ultra, right? And then there might be some buying on the shorter end of the curve at the same time. So it just really depends. But typically the treasury markets overall are extremely correlated. They show the correlation. They share the same sort of correlation as NQ and ES. Like that's how correlated they are. So I would say what I do for my part of my pre-market prep, I bring up the yields. So I have the short, middle, and long end of the curve. I have the 2, 5, 10, and 30 yield curves up, and they move inverse to bonds and notes. Okay, so the bid's just been pulled in ES. And then I just basically watch the flow. So the general sentiment for the last couple of weeks has been Fed is going to be cutting rates. inflation is going down, which in essence causes lower yields and higher notes and bonds. So I've been buying the shit out of notes and bonds. I've really been looking to be going long only for the last ever since Powell changed his speech. I've been going long, and I faded the dump last night. But then my thoughts were today the fact that Biden is now, doesn't is basically is admitting some form of defeat, and if he pulls out, then basically Trump's going to win. And Trump typically causes higher inflation, which causes higher yields, and lower notes and bonds. So the fact there was that much selling come in, I took my sentiment play and of long, and basically threw it out the window, and then I was short tens from about 7:30, 7 o'clock US time this morning, which is afternoon for me, and then I took 7 trades out to 10 year, which is a great trade, and that was it, to be honest. I was thinking of maybe fading a pullback to continue down, which I wonder if I've not checked. But when you're putting up a trade like that in the tens, just there's no point. I'm just gonna enjoy the day. It's a run around the block, get the pom poms out trade. I don't want to turn a 7 tick trade in treasuries in one trade into a break even or losing day. So, but hopefully that answers your question, Martin. So I've just blabbed, but short answer to that is one doesn't always lead. You have to be paying attention to the curve, understanding the session, and then just seeing how the order flow comes in, to be honest. Because sometimes the 10 and the 5 will be at the lows, for example, and the long end of the curve, so the ultra and the 30s is not there yet. So it just depends. So there is a catch-up trade in essence sometimes. The most obvious catch-up trade you're going to see is 5 10s, 30 year is at the highs, ultra is not yet, so you can basically take that back into parity for it. That's the most obvious one. Joe, I used to use pivots, dude. I used to use them, but as the years progressed, my trading is now a lot simpler. Where I use market profile to give me the context for the day. I then have a volume profile for the 10 year and the 30 year. I do the same for indices. Yeah, and I just look to draw out my key levels, do business, and then it's over to the order flow that comes into the depth of market. That's pretty much it. Yeah, no problem, Martin. If you continue to look at that, dude. You just need to take notes. It's the thing is, if you want consistency in your trading, and you're struggling with boom and bust, and you're at that stage in your trading, I would recommend to try out fixed income, because it just doesn't, like yesterday for example. I know the market ended quite, like, it dumped off towards the end, but for 90% of the session, for the whole day, it was in like a 20 tick range on the tens. So the way that I see it is, it's not always about making money. Like, if you have a bad day in ES when the market's trending like that, you have a really bad day. Whereas fixed income doesn't really move. Ram, how's it going, dude? Nice of you to join us, my friend. So you're basically saying that subprime always puts equal weight. Oh, sorry, it's not subprime. Market supreme always puts equal weight on long and short book profits. Yeah, so in essence what you're saying is they're constantly spreading, right? Is in essence what you're saying. But I think there's a general play. I only trade outrights. I don't really spread. Mainly because I'm not holding these for hours at a time. You know, my average trade time is like 20 minutes. Very, very, very seldom is it more than that. Well, when the volume is good, I should caveat that. When the volume is good, it's not more than that. If the volume is not so great, then it can be in a 3 tick range for an hour. But then when that's the case, though, I'm not my target's not 7 ticks, for example, or whatever. It's literally 2 and 3 ticks. But yeah, good questions. Let me know if you guys have got any others. Okay, so we're now back at this imbalance low area, right? If we notice though, the bid has been pulled. There's been no real intent come in. Oh, that's a big blob. There has been no real intent come in from sellers. So it looks like uh, the firms are basically having a field day at the moment because all they're doing is pulling the bid and offer. There is no real direction here, and size coming in relatively neutral. Yet we're moving around this area. So if we do start getting aggressive into the bid here, we can potentially see price try and challenge down here, which I hope that's the one that happens because it's the most exciting one. So Alex, good question. Um, Typically it's going to be how are the correlations looking? If we are, so I'll give you an example of today, right? The sentiment was that it's to do with the daily sentiment of what I think is going to happen. So that's I would call it a bias as such. How is the order flow looking at that time? So what's delta? Is it negative on the day for across the board? How are yields looking? And then I have that idea and context in my head and think, right, there is some room here to go down. So I look at the I was going to say footprint there. I don't look at the footprint for that. I look at market profile, and then I noticed on the tens, if you bring that up, there was the CPI numbers that come out. There is singles that are left down there that essentially hadn't been filled, and the NFP round about the NFP high area as well that was put in a couple of maybe 6 weeks or so ago, give or take. So what I'm then looking for is are we below VWAP across the board, and the market pulls back into that? Are we absorbing? And then I want to see one of, for example, the 5 Ultra 30s. You know, I want to see one of them being pretty weak, and then ultimately I want to get a decent risk to reward on it. So my initial play is to try and take at least, at least at least 4 ticks is my standard if I'm looking to have a runner play. But the best ones that seem to work is if I can get in on, say, I'm just using this as an example, it's like a value area high. It's like a value area high, right? And we retest, we absorb that, and then we hit into the bid. I then get filled, and then want to try and make sure that it's above an imbalance area. My stop is, or it's above the VWAP or something of that nature that's got a little bit of protection behind me. And then when the trade works really well, is if that 4 ticks gets me to low of day, I've now got a free look at that going. So when that happens and I'm up 4, I then basically just move my stop to say break even or +1 tick, and then I've now got a free look at this cracking. And see, when it cracks, those are the times that you're getting your 7 to 10, sometimes more ticks, you know. And very very often, it will take the low of the day, absorb, and then back tick, and then I'll only get 3, but it allows me to get that free look. It's hard to explain. It's not like when market touches a value area high, I sell or anything like that. It's more screen time, context, sentiment, what data's coming out. I've got a lot of statistical trading based in. So for example, in the 10-year note, over the course of the last 3 years, if we take the previous day high, there is a 75% chance that we close above settlement on that day. And the same with the low. It's actually 74% for the lows. But that's extremely good numbers, right? So if you take the previous day high and then you pull back, there's a 75% chance, depending on where the previous day closes, that you're going to close above that level. So then you can then start factoring that in. So, and then I have ATR as well based in there. So Monday and Tuesday in treasuries is typically really slow days. So I'm more likely to take fades on those days than I am on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, where data is heavier and volume is higher on those days. So hope that makes sense, mate. It's you build up like an arsenal over the years of doing this, and it's not. It's so discretionary. That's the thing. Like if I could have coded this and went to the beach, sadly I would have done it, but I can't. Hopefully that makes sense, dude. The long-winded way to say it, but kind of a word salad. This bid has just been absolutely pulled to the hilt. You see this? 3, 18, 13, 18, 70, 18, 30, 15, 12. There's literally no contracts. This is... God, ES sucks, man. It's crazy. The top 500 equities in the US, and the bidding offer right now is 50 deep. Jesus, honestly. No problem, Alex. And the thing is, what I've just said, it's hard to, like I have a plan of attack, right? Where I have a pre-market prep, I have a setup. Typically I want to be trading when the volume is higher. Globex is no different in treasuries to, well, that's not entirely true. The concepts are the same in treasuries as they are in indices, where there's not really any direction or volume that happens. It's just pools of bid and offers. And if I'm ever, I don't even bother now, but years ago I used to trade everything, because you do that when you start. Years ago, where I would trade everything, and very often when you're trading, in Globex, there's no real direction, so you just need to be fading. So I now exclusively trade till lunchtime US. Absolute latest. Of course, there's exceptions to the rule, right? But typically 6 p.m. my time, and funnily enough, it's like if you notice, if you got MBO data for the 10-year, 6 p.m. on the dot, or sometimes 3 minutes past 6, they will turn on the algorithms and just it lights up like a Christmas tree on the 10-year. And I'm not joking, when they turn that on, I'm done. It's like my clock out card, because as soon as they turn that on, it now, a very, very high chance that we just fluff around, you know. And if I've not made my money by 6 p.m. my time, which is 1 o'clock US session, there's not that much volume that happens in treasuries. So on to the next day. I'm not. If I've had a bad day, I'm done. If I had a good day, then great. You know. Okay. I'm gonna clear this because I'm just amazed at how weak this bid is. So hopefully I've not bored everyone to sleep with my treasury chat. I appreciate a lot of you peeps are indices. This is really weird action here. We're basically neutral in delta, but the bid has just been pulled. Oh, there's another cool thing I wanted to bring up. So now that we're part of this YouTube partner thing, right? Which is actually pretty cool. I want, if you become a member, there's like custom emojis and stuff, and I wanted to make them pretty cool. Things like little mini DOMs and sweeps and like little bear icons and some cool things in there. But if you guys have got any ideas for things that this members to make it slightly better, then you can let me know what you'd like. But I want to make it something to do with OrderFlow, right? It seems to be the abbreviation turns into Mr. OF, which in the wrong context could be taken for Mr. OnlyFans, you know. Joe, short at 52 and a quarter. Okay, let's mark it. Let's put you in the spotlight, Joe. Did I not save that there? I did. OnlyFans when? Yep, exactly. You see how spicy my offer gets when I pull the bid, you know? It's extremely saucy. This shot's looking pretty good. See if we can take the low a day. Sellers are coming in, but it's still absolutely minuscule, to be honest, with the actual size. This is the market's moving at the moment just by the bid being pulled. Just the one thing to bear in mind, Joe, with this trade is the offer can be pulled at any minute and we will flip back 5-6 ticks. Just to bear that in mind, just with the current delta that's happening. But because the market's not moving here with real size. It's just weak bids and offers. So just to take that into consideration. If this goes here, we should drop like 3-4 ticks. We need to crack this 46 and a quarter. We need to crack it. It's holding. It's held 3 times now. So what you want to see when they crack this 46 and a quarter is a splurge, like a blip down in price. About back 2/3 risk free with third. Okay, nice. We need to see NQ work its way back down to probably 75 roughly for us to continue down. But as I said, this is just market making territory. This type of shit here. I mean, you can pretty much cover this with a line. You know, it's like the definition of flat. You want to see it work its way back down to zero delta, because that's the thing. When you have both ways, when you have the bid pulled and aggressive size come in, that's when you get the capitulation and some quick moving. And NQ needs to work its way down a little bit more. It needs to get its way down to 75s. Still a good trade, man. Nicely done. But to be honest, it's not. Even though we're going down, though, they could take it. The way that this is shaping up right now, they could just sweep the low here, start lifting into the offer, and then just pull the offer. So they start buying aggressively and just pull the offer, and then before we know it, we're back up at value area high. That's also on the cards. But not good trade nonetheless. That's the main thing. So yeah, any other questions? Quick fire. Let me know. Throw them at me. We're still working our way down. Across the board now, we've got the Dow, Russell and NQ working its way down. We can see a push down in NQ. This should go. We want to see a push down to 75s. Break that. Trying everything's now at the lows now, which is good. NQ needs to behave itself and continually hit into the bids here. Yeah, exactly. But we're basically just seeing though that the bid has been pulled in order to get our way down here. So you need, this is the thing when the market's doing this type of behavior. I mean, this again, it's quite a good talking point because it's not normally, it doesn't normally do this where it's completely flat and the market just dumps, you know? Because very simply, what happens when the market does this behavior is once they pull the offer, right? This is the definition of market making firms want price to go lower either to buy it, right? Because once they pull off the offer here, all of these prices, these are pretty much not real. So they can just pull this off until they get to maybe 48s. And then, you know, that's just something you need to be aware of when they're doing that. Of course they could, of course they can just now start coming in with some size here, right? And just pound the lows. But what is, it's just interesting the way that they're doing it with no fresh selling though. Martin, exactly. So pretty much, you know, big funds and traders essentially will execute a position on the close, right? So a type of order will be right. We will buy or sell, you know, at the close price, right? And the market then tries to balance that out, depending on what happens, right? So it gives liquidity that comes into the market. Um, and very simply, 95% approximately, right, of orders of a day get closed on that day. Ranges probably between, you know, 92 to 98%, something like that, right? So I just put it in the middle at 95. Um, so if traders are massively net short on a day, when it comes, if they're not, they'll be working. If they're massively net short, they'll be working the bid and the way down to get out of their positions. Because considering there's that much political stuff going on at the moment as well, they're certainly not holding. So you need to bear in mind as well that these large firms don't, they have different problems than us. One of the advantages that we have over large firms is if we want to buy in a direction, we're always going to get filled, and there's always going to be someone that's willing to take that, is going to take that other side of that trade. Large firms and market makers and institutions, they have the other problem of they've got huge amounts of size to execute, and they can't get filled on the position, both to get into the market and to get out. So this is where they need to do this type of bullshit behavior that we're discussing, right? You know, to get out of the market. Now, did you notice there, if you want to rewind that a little second, there was one contract, the market moved through here and left one contract to get to the next price. So this is exactly what we were saying, is once they absorb enough on the bids, they'll just pull the offer, and then before you know it, we're back up to Joe's original short area. This is the trouble, there's actually no direction right now. This is just market makers working the bid and offer. And you can see that, because if there's real intent coming in, the delta would be showing it. It's not there. That makes sense, Martin? So, to put this into context for you, dude, right? Just as an example, say I was a large firm and I was net short in this position, right? For the day, and say I had 10,000, 20,000 contracts to close out, right? And I had to get filled on the bid on this side because I'm net short. Okay, so take that as an example. I would be saying, right, we need to basically drive price to an area where there's going to be large stops that are congregated with volume coming in, or what we'll do is when it gets to this area like so, we'll just work the bid. So we'll just take out, 100 here, 100 here, 50 here, 100 here, and they'll just continually work it. Of course, there's not real people doing that, it's algorithms. But say that there's not a range like this, where it's just faffing this range so they can work the bid and offer. Say it was more aggressive action. Well, you would drive price down to here. Because everyone that's bought and thinking, oh, we're going to retrace back and go to the moon, right? Especially down here, everyone will be buying now. When they drive price down to here, all of these people, in essence, become the liquidity for these guys to get out of their positions. Because remember, for every buyer, there has to be a seller, right? So these guys are working the bid. And when these guys have to sell to get out of their positions, they have to get filled in the bid that is the net short people's take profits, see down here. So they can drive price down, in order to do that behavior. That's just how it works. As we say, even though we're going up right now, we're now back into this imbalance area that's not really an imbalance now, but, it was at one point. But as expected, there was absolutely no selling that came in there, yet we basically pulled our way back. Now, if you didn't have order flow and delta and actually knew the volume that was coming in looking at candles, you would have absolutely no idea that this pullback here was completely and utterly guff. Sorry, John, I saw part of that, dude. If you wanted to answer it. That's a very big... Can you guys see the cursor okay? So quickly on market profile, mate, I'll just give you a quick rundown on it for you. Okay. So for the current session, I don't give a shit about the session, right, for market profile. So obviously I have first 2 hours where initial balance is set as A and B period, and so it goes on for each 30 minutes, right? And I have the whole of the pre-market session as dashes. For the current day, I have Globex session in there because I want to know what the high and low is. But then for previous days, I have it set on Sierra where it removes the Globex or extended trading hours after that day, so it only uses the current day. So I only really give a shit about the overnight high and overnight low for the current day. I don't factor that in for levels because there's just not that much volume. Does that make sense? No problem, Martin. No problem, dude. Yeah, exactly, Ram. I mean, it is election year, so we'll see how the market takes it. But yeah, it looks like we're consolidating. At the end of the day, remember, this is the monthly point of control since the contract rolled over. The most volume. We'll quickly run into that for some people that missed it. So we'll full screen this. Let me just quickly so you can see this. Okay, we spent so much time consolidating around here, so much value is built up in this area here, right? And we can see that the ridiculous high volume nodes was here. Okay, so we have been extremely bullish up to this level, up here, which is to be expected with CPI and Mag 7 and all the stuff that's been coming in. But the only thing is, I said earlier on in the stream, something's weird about the stock market, in my opinion, at the moment. 40% of the S&P is not put up positive gains, yet we're abusing highs. If it wasn't for the Mag 7 stocks, we wouldn't be where we are, right? So this sell-off is much needed, especially with now Trump potentially going to get in, and just there being a little bit of uncertainty around there, right? And of course, there's some profit taking. So what I would expect is this session, no danger we're cracking here. The furthest downside I can see is potentially, coming down here, maybe faffing around and working our way up, something along those lines. Because it's going to take a lot to break here. We're not going to crack through this in one fell swoop. I really don't think. I think through this level, we're most likely going to do something like this. Reason being is, look at this. We spent, like 3 weeks or so in here. If we go back as well, there was more. I think 3 weeks in this level. So that's the general outlook of what we're going. And then to the upside right now, if we have a look at what the upside can look like for the session, in order to basically delete and cancel this day for a typical Friday balance, we would need to first break above this level to reclaim the value area, and then we would need to, in essence, hold above the overnight high and break and hold above yesterday's low, and sort of finish the session, somewhere back in this volume area here for the upside. Again, no chance of breaking up here in this session, just not enough juice left in it. So when you break that down, we're probably going to finish like somewhere in here. Like 100 tick range or something, boys. So I just can't see there being that much juice. But you never know what happens when it comes in with the market on close. They can just go bananas. But that's it. For the upside, we need to clear and hold above here, and then basically hold above the overnight low and previous day low, and then basically just trade this out. So if we do that, then we'll probably finish here. If we don't challenge and reclaim these levels, then we potentially just finish down round about here. So that's what I'm thinking, to be honest. And then if we do see absolute pain and blood, where everyone shits the bed for the weekend, is crack this level somehow and print lows, which I just can't see happening, to be honest. So that was a long way to run through the market profile, but that's why I have the regular trading hours just for the previous sessions. I don't care about the overnight high and overnight low and the volume necessarily in that area, and that's done by, I just have it as dashes. So yeah. But sellers just they're not showing any form of intent right now, are they? It's just like a steady grind of positive delta that's coming in. So let me know what your thoughts are on that. Interesting. Your thoughts on my rambling analysis. Let's recenter and see what MBO we have above. Wow. Okay. Jeez, oh. Well, it definitely looks like these boys want to take some profits up here, eh? Okay. Yeah, when you see that, I find it extremely unlikely now that we don't go up and reclaim this value area, and in essence fill out this liquidity up here. But we'll see. And also, what do you guys think of the pen? Am I going too ham with the pen? Yeah, the arrows and stuff are quite cool. So we can now see that the buyers are now, they've just absorbed 325 at that one price. So they're now not only pressing higher, they're also absorbing higher as well. Yeah. So I probably should check that MBO out sooner. That would have impacted things. So let's see if they can reach the high of it, 63.5. Let's see how quickly they take that out. Maku, how's it going, dude? Nice of you to stop by and join us, man. Hopefully everyone is having a good Friday. Nice end to the week. Hope everyone had a good trading week. Okay, this is the first now test of the value area. Notice this is a little lower volume node pocket side, so we'll see if the sellers do defend this. But we are, as discussed, we're getting to the last ditch attempt for any form of downward pressure, if there is any more, you know. I would like to see sellers actually start coming in, because they're not doing that at all. Good, dude, that's what I like to hear. For us to go up and test this, we want to see NQ lift up to 51s. So it looks like this probe down, considering there was no real delta come in, looks like firms basically just pulled the bids to get price down, absorb some little more to buy it and take it higher, and then they're going to start working the offer here to start getting out of their positions, in essence. And now that is it. Then we probably trade out this lower volume node, and then we need to wait and see what the next hour brings. And we have, it's very nice. See, since this is much cleaner since they've removed that stupid clamp algo that was there, you know. Okay, some two-way here. They're filling this out now. See the difference? How they've just added all this volume in here. So let's see if they're now out of their position and then they pull the bid, and let's see if there is some selling on. let's see what the deal is, but I just don't think there's any more now. If we just go back to VWAP and faff around in this low volume, faff around here now until you know, we sort of fill this out so it's more, you know, it's more filled out like this, and the POCs here as well. I would like to see some selling. Oh, it's coming in blood. Try your settings, dude. If you go to settings and then make sure the auto sometimes can be 720. Make sure you got it at 1080 or something. Has anyone else got it blurry? Let me know. The quality should be 1080p. I'm hoping. It's not only to check. A little teeny bit of selling coming in, but nothing to write home about. Oh, did you get it? Did you get it, Maku? Is that it sorted? I'm hoping you got it sorted. The last thing I want it to be is blurry. Nice. Nice to hear, dude. What you'll probably note as well, if you look at individual equities, you've probably seen some money start to flow into the Mag 7 to get us here. Just a wild guess, but most likely that's the case. And as usual, when that happens, no one really gives a shit about the small caps here, where it's just faffing around point of control. Oh, nice, Declan. Good. Good, dude. Oh, look at the amount of orders that are congregating here. Is there anything to the downside, actually? No. Oh, it feels nice to have that algo away, to be honest. That really distorted everything, that. So I think that's pretty much it. I would love to see here us not just consolidating around here, but in order for us to reclaim below here, and then we have got something on to sell off for the volume coming in at 4 p.m. In order for that to reclaim, keep a note on here. Watch this. You want to see some actual selling coming in. There's not been any real aggression on the into the bid in the last 30 minutes, maybe longer than that. The more this continues on, looks like we're just going to have a balanced day, to be honest. If we put this into full profile here, the more we continue around here and add this in, it's just essentially going to end in a double distribution. You know, like a bigger bell curve. Hey trader boy, yep, so we may see some volatility come in. It's going to be a wild close, I think. Definitely. If you guys get any trades on at the moment. And let me know if you get any questions. The longer we stay up here, the more likely we are to go up and fill these levels here. So there's been 3,000 contracts here absorbed. You're long from 52s. Nice. That's good long. So you're long from here. Okay, this is looking nice. What are you thinking of getting out? To VWAP? To this sort of area? What are you thinking? To the moon? I need to take away Joe's short. This is the new position that we're currently watching. But this has been a good trade, geez oh. Well done. Wouldn't say I'm loving the fact that there's been 3,500 absorbed at 65, mind you. But I would like to see these get filled out on the offer. And the fact that there's just no selling coming in, I think it makes more sense. We fill out here and then sort of sellers actually start to come in. The last thing you want to see here is the bid be pulled, but let it run to a close, nice. See, I've not, I've really only been selling. I wouldn't really be like to long that either, to be honest, with the selling pressure is going into today, Maku. I mean, if we get a really bullish on close here, you know, that could be a great trade, Carly. Did we crack the lows again, Maku? What was the? I've not checked in the last. Couple hours. Did we crack? I've not checked since 6 o'clock my time, so 1 p.m. A little bit of selling coming in. Still nothing major though. More like the bid been pulled. See if 60s can hold. Oh, the low is not broken. Wow. So if we been in like a four tick range or something, Maku, just been defending the yeah, it's like what it's like a 4 or 5 tick range, isn't it? The whole day. So we basically put that low in within the like the first 30-40 minutes of open or something, give or take, and then we've just been ranging around all day, right? Still the same action. I'm so glad I finished it. One. Seems like I've not missed very much. It does seem a little bit weird though that with a lot of the sort of uncertainty per se in the stock market dumping, that bonds are also dumping. Normally the money flows into bonds at those times. Yeah. And do you mainly trade UB in the 30? You don't trade the 10, do you? Yeah, it's good. It's good you trade some treasuries. You don't really find a lot of treasury traders, to be honest, especially not on the YouTube streets. It's not fancy enough. People like the action. To be fair though, if I was to stream treasuries, you would be bored out of your mind. Very much an old man product. It's not what the cool kids trade. Cool kids trade Bitcoin and NQ these days on futures. Have you guys ever checked the bid and offer on? In fact, we'll do that for a laugh. Actually, let's change it for the Dow. Was it MBTC or something? And what exchange would that be? Let's change it for. There's nothing's really going to happen. Oh, we are cracking the lows, but anyway. I'm going to copy that. Oh no. I'm going to quickly copy this, so if I need to change it back, I can just MBTC. What would that be on? Would it be on CME? Yeah. So there it is. Wait till you see the bid and offer on this thing. Look at this. Yeah, I think as soon as the Mag 7 bleed ram, it's going to be painful. Yeah, exactly, Maku. The fixed income is where it's at, man. You know, Urex products and treasuries. So you wouldn't get bored if you learned a lot. NQ doesn't succeed me, so yeah. So yeah, so they just filled this out. Let's see how we try and fill out 70s. Kali's long down here is looking juicy. Down here, still notice absolutely no selling in sight. Just a continual grind. Any selling that's coming in is the bid been pulled. But look at the state of this. Look at this. What would be interesting? Now I'm not starting any conspiracy theories or anything here, right? But there is that little volume on this Bitcoin futures contract, right? I've never actually checked this, but surely to goodness there is someone that has thought of creating a syndicate um, for this market. I mean, there's no liquidity in it, you know. I mean, what's the point of control on this? Jeez, oh, the point of control is 48 contract. What? This is like a penny stock. Jeez, oh, why do they even have this? Who trades this? Look at this. This broke the lows and not one contract traded. So I want to check Delta. Some poor sod sold 7 at the lows. uh, Bucks, yeah, exactly, dude. You know, normally I start the stream and we run through the curve. TradingView's actually got a really cool way to look at the curve because you can plot them all on the charts really easily. Um, this Bitcoin, this is such a waste of time. This contract, like, were they forced to put this in or something? This contract. This is the day. This is the full day session. They'd be lucky if there's 200 contracts in this thing traded. Nah, that's not true. Be lucky if there's 500. You know, it's crazy. Like literally, if you were to move any form of size in this, you're stuck. Right, that was interesting to look at. Let's quickly now change this back to the Dow. Nice, Callie. Making dollars on it some way. I'm not really too sure how they're doing that, to be honest with you. Um, I've never actually checked it out. What's the tick to commission ratio like in that? It's going to be garbage. It's not exactly like the CME is going to put out a product for Bitcoin that's going to be, you know, the only interesting thing about that is I don't think big institutions are trading that because there's no liquidity. If we are struggling to get filled, they're going to have a problem, right? So you're looking to get out of VWAP, Joe? Because VWAP I have is a pink line. unless you've got it as the regular trading hours view app, which I'd imagine maybe down a little. So we have approximately 25 minutes till the volume picks up. Notice how much NQ is pumping here. Nicely done, Joe. Exactly, Callie. A good trade, man. Really good trade. What did you move your stop to, sorry? And did you see... Move stop to 58s. Okay, so just out of this, the day's session value area. Okay. I'd love to see 65s hold for you here, because there's tons of buying. I would like to see that hold. But then notice though that there's just no selling. You know, we're just slightly grinding our way higher in terms of delta that's coming in, and more orders have been placed on the offer. They just pulled that one to basically for them to work out of this position that they've grinded. Yeah, back to what Mux was saying as well. I would love to be able to stream treasuries, but it's it's extremely boring. Like, I'm not joking. Typically, you're in the 10 year specifically. It's a 4 or 5 tick range. A lot of the time after like 1 p.m. A lot of the time. Yesterday was probably a red herring where we sold off towards the end of the session. And it also doesn't aggressively sweep prices, so it's just a completely different animal to the indices. It doesn't sweep like 15 ticks and then pull back. Typically, if you extend the low of the day, and leave a sort of low volume node pocket in the middle of that, and it's created like a double distribution for the day, like very rarely are you going to go back up and reclaim the double distribution, on a sort of more than 50% ATR day. Typically, it just ranges around and defends that area. It's just a slight observation. Yeah, I just UB is okay. I will never do the catch up trading. I prefer like because the 30 is much thicker these days. I would much rather prefer trading the 30 year over UB. UB is only ever the catch up trade if I do take it. Um, I mean, the really aggressive play here to the downside is if we just shit tons of selling comes in, but I don't know. I think they would have done that before now. I just prefer a much thicker, mate, a thicker market. The ultra. I mean, you're what 300-400, but the trouble is a lot of the time 300-400 never actually trades. The ultra can move with like 100 traded, and they'll just pull the other three. So it's like a double-edged sword. You know, when you're right, you make money much quicker, but you also don't. How would I say this? When you're on the wrong side, you don't get the opportunity to cover like you do in the tens or or well, you get a better chance in the 30s, but the 10 year definitely you do. Callie, we need this defended for you, man. Wow, that is a big cursor. Jeez. Just wondering if you guys can see us okay. Wow. Uh, so your long is stops here, right? 58s. So we need to defend this the daily session value area low here, and we're just going up to the regular trading hours. Let's see, what's the point of control? Ah, see, so to take it with your sneakiness, you put your stop below the session point of control. That must have been what you did. I like it. Sneaky. Well, you've got the point of control to hold, but a little bit of selling coming in here. Nothing major. But they are hitting it though, right? I hope you didn't get stopped out by the tick there. I think you're gonna get stopped anyway. Nail biting. Come on. Eh. There's also the down. The Russell's working its way down too. Yeah, you need to have a slightly wider stop in UV, right? Yeah, typically four to five is my max. I take five is a hard stop. But as you know yourself, like 30-year in the tens don't really move 5 ticks like in a flash. Obviously, economic releases, of course, but that doesn't really count. Ugh, stopped. This price action's not been that great. Yeah, at least Cali. That's the thing. Hopefully, it doesn't literally take you to the tick and then go bid. But the bid does seem to be pulled right now. I'm saying if sellers do start getting aggressive here, because the 16k delta positive here, if sellers start slinging like 4-5k in here, and we get a 30 minutes with 4 and 5k negative delta, this can very quickly go down here, you know, very quickly. But the only way to see that is we need to see some rogue selling start to come in. Yeah, I mean, a profit's a profit at the end of the day. If you don't ever try, those types of trades, you never get the home run, do you? So But I still think we're just at POC now, so we're probably just going to flop around here until the volume comes in 15 minutes. Also, there's a couple of ways everyone can become members. It's completely up to yourself. You can become a member in the coffee, or you can become a member in the Discord itself. Here is a link to the coffee, which I will pin. Completely up to yourself if you would like to join. If you do, it's much appreciated. Jesus, bid has been wiped, isn't it? At the moment. Pretty much neutral delta, which you don't really see that often, right? Oh, Max, nice. I'm not too far from you, dude. I'm about 30 minutes from you, dude. More central belt. But geez, another one that trades, another one from Scotland that trades treasuries. Geez, oh. Do you trade Eurex at all? Do you trade the Boon Bobble and the Shats or anything? I probably would do that, but I've been trading treasuries and US markets for so long that I quite like the schedule of starting in the afternoon, to be honest. But it's not anymore. Euro stock seems quite appealing, to be honest. I've been flirting around wanting to trade on that for a while, but it's just a schedule, right? I don't want to trade both markets because I'm too tired for that. If we hit low of day, I'll try along. Nice. Yeah, if we continue with this action where there's no real selling and we sweep the low, it could be a nice long to go back up, but I think the range is kind of capped now. I'd be very surprised. What I would like to see though, which would be cool, is if me and my perma bull side, bear side, but it would be nice to plunge down here. It seems quite unlikely, to be honest. Yeah, exactly, Max. I think so. It's kind of a little bit more straightforward, isn't it? The US side. I much prefer the Times. I've been doing it for so long now that I prefer the pre-market prep and just watch the sentiment, check things out, and then not starting till probably midday. Yeah, exactly, Callie. I would like to see it, but I don't think so. But you never know. The next 25 minutes. Next 25 minutes can cause mayhem for sure. It's quite a small world actually to find someone that's relatively local. It's cool. We've got a real diverse crowd, which is fantastic. Shows you the everyone from different countries, different regions, and cultures as well. We all participate in trade markets. It's cool. Yeah. And do you only trade treasuries, or do you trade ES and as well? What products do you trade? And let me know if you guys have got any other questions. We have 8 minutes. So you've 8 minutes to grab some popcorn, some snacks, a beer, seeing as it's Friday. He tried to get intellectual. Nice. So you trade quite a good basket there. So you've got some commodities, some energies in there, and indices, of course. Oh, you have beer. Nice. Nice. What beer? I'm assuming you're not clicking buttons while you're having a beer, right? You're just observing. I'm hoping. One thing I've never ever even entered my mind was have a beer and trade. Assuming you're just chilling out and watching me ramble, right? This offer is pretty strong just across the board, right? When you see it like this, buyers are coming in, the offer is working its way down. Oh, very nice, Declan. That's what I like to hear. Guys are putting me in the mood for a beer. Mux, yeah, I can't imagine that being very sensible. Anyone trading the Nikkei? No. Put the ticker on, Alexandra. Put the full ticker, like the contract, for me, and I'll put it on. I'll change the YM for you. I want to see it myself. It's not something I've never looked at. Drumming monkey, it sure is, Declan. Drumming monkey, yeah. Been in there myself. Cat house. I think that's still a place as well. Joe, no problem, dude. Nice of you to join us. Hopefully have a great weekend, and hopefully we'll see you next time. We try and stream nearly every day. We didn't for 2 days this week, if I remember correctly. Oh, Mox. Look at that one slip out the bag. Alright, you guys need to keep me in line. We've got 4 minutes to this action because then I want to check the Nikkei here. Right, so you're saying it is NKDU4. What's the exchange? Is it CME? It will be NKDU. It won't be 4, is it, right? I won't need 4. Let me see. I could be potatoing here. Yes, I am. We'll put in a 4, you say. Oh, really? What's the bid and offer like on that? Jesus, is that it? There's no volume in this either, right? This is the full session. And there's only 200 contracts for POC. I was hoping that this was going to be a really thick book. I don't know why. I was hoping it was. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Declan. Nice. Ah, you trade as a CFD. Okay. The mini Nikkei. Let me have a look at this and see. I refuse to believe that this is the amount of contracts of trading that. That can't be right, surely. So it's CME, and we're looking for the Nikkei here. Yeah, this is it, or is it? It is. Yeah, it's literally it. Wow, that's shit. While we're at this, let me look at this cattle carry on. Is there any? How's the book in this? Curious. Is this? Is this? Wait. Wait. What? Is this? Is this broken? This can't be how thin the cattle market is it? Wow. Who trades these products when they're like that? Jeez, oh. Alright, I need to stop faffing around. The volume's about to come in. It is, alright, okay. Okay. Nice creates. I mean, the thing is with that, you're going to have some decent, a decent book. Like, these books are garbage. Right, here we go. Let's see what happens. A little volume spike that comes in. I think we're probably going to end somewhere between 40 and 60. Let's see. Are the spreads not pretty wild on that, Alexandra, for the CFDs? I'm assuming you started off in currencies or FX. All this buying needs to be closed out some which way. To be honest, it's probably already closed out. Oh no. No. Fuckers. I mean, could they not just piss off, man? That was great. Do you notice how when these things, when you do that, all the MBO, oh well, it's still there, I suppose, but the brackets are literally back straight away. Oh, we had it like a solid 12 hours or something of it. So, interestingly enough, right, they those bracket orders like that have not been there when the market was dumping, right? It's pretty much been away for like a day now, right, or something, roughly. Nice. How do you find FX? Difficult, to be honest. It's hard enough trying to win at the market without your broker trying to shaft you. Declan, yeah, exactly, dude. Maybe they fixed it, yeah. Exactly. I mean, what I was going to say there actually was they weren't there when the market was dumping, so maybe this is a buying program. We'll see. I mean, it's quite a long shot to be honest, but we'll note that because it's definitely not been present when the market's dumping. So we'll see that if they turn that on when it's they're looking to essentially gobble up buying. You know, it's the only theory I can have. It's the only sort of common denominator. It's disappeared when the market was dumping. You know, I'm kind of clutching at straws here, rather than just saying it's a clamp algorithm. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they Declan spot on. The outage is now fixed, so they're like, let's turn it on for the last hour. See if we can trick some people. Oh, did it? What happened, Create? I've never actually seen it been tagged. What happened? Did it spaz out? You traded mostly euro dollar, so fiber. In the S it's actually hard because of the profits, low volatility. At least that's what I think. Besides major pairs, spread is quite bad for intra compared to spread on indices. Yeah, well, the trouble is the spread is brutal, and you're paying commission, and you pay swaps for holding overnight as well, a lot of the time. And the worst thing is if you're trading one that is b booking you, they widen the spreads So when it gets to a stop area, you've not only got large firms pushing it to price, you've got the broker widening the spreads. So price doesn't even need to go to the high and break the high. The spread will take you out. So that's crazy to think that. Right, let's see if we get the sweeperoo and back in. So sweep down here and then go back up. Let's see. Yeah, exactly, Cray. I wonder what the deal is with that. I watched a documentary or a mini one last night on that Night Capital, who they lost like something ridiculous, like 45 million a second or something crazy because they didn't code in an off switch. Turn it off. Throw water on the Ethernet cable. Sorry, we can't. It's all cloud based. Marks, you sound very much like Dante, to be honest. Take it you've done the whole manipulating, having a quicker broker versus another one. One gives you the data quicker, you hit the other one. Take free money, basically. Q to micro at 55 and 3/4. What are you going for? Are you going for long, Callie? Yep, nice. It's been a pretty lackluster initial, so we have two mementos until we get the volume coming in. But yeah, I would love to see the reasoning behind that. Watch over the next coming days. If the market goes bid, then we can maybe make an assumption that this is a buying program, to be honest. It's a long shot, but we'll see. I mean, if we absolutely dump and smash the lows here, then I can take that theory and ram it. But we'll see. It's something definitely chasing price, that's for sure. Someone could check what the market and close date will be, and see if we can hit back to VWAP. That's it. It's even coming in before. Here we go. What a strange last couple of hours this has been. Who's the 60? Nice, good trade. Yeah, they need to start working out some of these orders, to be honest, now. So I think we'll probably work our way back down to POC or something like 50, 54s range now. But good trades. Market's probably going to work its way back down here. The amount of volume it's traded here. Loves this price. So pretty lackluster, to be honest. 2 or 3 minutes left to see, but the volume's already dried off. Maku, you still there? How did treasuries finish off if you have it up? Did it move at like 3 ticks? Oh, look at us back down to POC now. Look at that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Max. That's the thing, it's nuts. You've got Trump, who's an absolute wild card, now pretty much favourite to win. You've got the US stock market basically been held up by 7 stocks, and they're about to cut rates. No wonder Trump is saying, I'm telling you not to cut them, because he's about to come in and do his thing. It all seems a bit weird. And then you still got all those wars going on that the media don't cover anymore as well. I know, the world's a bit crazy. The inverted yield curve too in the US is a bit meh. You know, the fact that you're getting more money for the 2 year than you are the 30 year, which basically says there's no confidence in the short term. The last time we saw it as aggressive as this was 2007. You know, I'm not Michael Burry or anything, but it's definitely weird times. That's for sure, Max. I agree. 3 to 4 tick range sounds consistent. Maku. Max, yeah, exactly. He's a boring old fart, that guy, isn't he? Just he could just say word salad, word salad, word salad, deflect. He can talk for an hour, that guy, and actually not say anything. Well seen, he probably worked for an investment bank or Goldman or something in the past. Fantastic, fantastic at the corporate world, that guy. Manages to speak for an hour and brushes over topics without giving any real clarity about anything. Crazy. Exactly, Maku. Well, that was relatively lackluster. Looks like we're just going to probably finish around POC. So nothing aggressive too really happened. We did just fill out that low volume node and then finish around. But interestingly enough, we'll see if anything happens over the weekend, if anyone gets shot again. But we have got this level down here to really support, so we'll see what next week brings. Mugs. Nice, Callie. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a great weekend, dude. Let me know if you guys have got any other questions. If you joined the stream and you're not subscribed, make sure and hit the button for me. Yeah, exactly. Well, let me know if you guys are getting our questions. We'll probably look to call it. Is this will be the watching paint dry on a Friday for the next 40-50 minutes till close. After probably 4:05, it's all she wrote. Yeah, come and say hello, dude. The link's in the description of the channel. If you want to support the channel as well, there's a link to the coffee, or you can do it on YouTube, whatever's your preference. But yeah, pop in and say hello. We're approaching about 300 people now in the Discord, so starting to build some steam, which is nice. No problem, Maku. I'm glad you enjoyed it, dude. Glad you liked it. And you guys hopefully can understand the wacky Scottishness. Max. No problem, Jay. No problem, dude. Hope we have a great evening and a great weekend. Hope everyone does. You guys take care, and if you're in the Discord, we'll catch up over the weekend. And if not, we will see you on Monday for the stream. We'll try and make sure and stream more next week. It's good. Declan, I've not had a deep fried Mars bar in a long time. Deep fried Mars bar. God, it's such a Scottish thing, isn't it, Gizo? Nice, dude. Nice. Okay, guys, thank you very much for the stream and keeping me company in my rants. So you guys have a fantastic weekend. Yeah, exactly. It's literally it's about to rain here. I'm not even joking. Look out the window and it's yeah, it's about to rain. So Anyways, guys, you have a great weekend, and we'll catch up on